Hello, and welcome back to Oxygen Not Included. Let's play episode 158. I'm going to start the episode by just leveling with you guys. I really don't have the motivation to play this base anymore. I kind of just really don't feel like playing it. And it's not because I've grown bored of Oxygen Not Included. In fact, quite the contrary. It's because I have next base Itis, which I think for a lot of us playing here in early access has been a pretty common disease to contract. Throughout early access, Clay has just been releasing tons and tons of new content, right? They're saying, oh, here's all this thermal stuff. Oh, here's all this automation stuff. Oh, here's space and rockets and this entirely new thing. And in every step of the way, every time they've done this, you've thought to yourself, well, I'm not going to play this old base anymore, right? Like your old base is an iPhone 3, and they come along with an iPhone 4, and you just chuck your iPhone 3 out the window. That's the way it's been for pretty much all of early access. And maybe that says something about me as an individual, that I kind of lose motivation to play the game once I know a better version of the game is coming out. But that's sort of the way it is for me, for good or for bad. And I knew this would happen. And in fact, I made the intermission episode saying, guys, I know my motivation is going to fall, so let's try and scale back the ambitions of this base, right? Let's kind of keep things reasonable. But it's been even worse than I thought. On four separate occasions, I have sat down with the intention of playing this game and thought to myself, oh, well, I had this one idea for my new base, my next base, and I want to see if that'll work. Let me just go look something up real quick. Let me just go do a real quick test in debug mode. Let me just do a little, and suddenly an hour goes by with me testing various builds and doing little things, or looking stuff up on the wiki or on OnlyDB or whatever, and suddenly I'm like, oh, well, I'll play it tomorrow, right? Let me just continue doing this stuff. I've already used up so much time. Let me start fresh tomorrow. And I haven't played this game in a while as a result, and you haven't seen any new videos in a while as a result. And that's just, I don't know. On the plus side, from sort of a YouTube perspective and a making content perspective, maybe that's a good thing, that I'm putting a lot of my time and energy into planning out what the next series is going to be, what the next challenge is going to be. And I have some really cool stuff planned. I mean, stay tuned, because when this game releases, I think I'm going to have some really cool videos for you guys. And I have a really cool idea for a new challenge for a base that I'm going to do. I think it's going to be pretty sexy. But it might be good from that perspective, from a YouTube perspective, making content perspective, because let's be realistic. Like, once the game releases, people aren't going to care about a lot of these older series, right? They're going to be like, well, that's the old game. Things are going to be different from the new game. I want a Let's Play. I want content that's from the latest version of the game, right? I mean, logically, because I don't want to start playing my game thinking that what they were doing in the past works in the present and find out that it doesn't. So, I don't know. I mean, the future is in the actual future game, not in this version of it. But it means that I'm not. I feel bad though, because I'm no matter what, even if I put a lot more time into this game, given that there's just so little time left before the game releases, I know I'm not going to get this base into a final state that I really want to like show it off in. I know that by the end, I'm still going to have a bunch of spaghetti piping down here in the industrial sector, and I'm still going to have like a plastic factory that I haven't done anything with, and I'm still going to have, right, like, I'm probably never going to actually cap off these geysers and do something with them. I'm still just going to have this constantly overflowing pool that I need to constantly expand new storage for, and ridiculous things like this, right? It's not, this base at the end, even if I put a lot more time into it, is not going to be pretty. I'll make like a base recap video for sure, but I don't have that sense of pride, that I'm delivering the Cycle 2000 finished product. Everything is gleaming and sparkling and amazing, and everything just works. I've automated I'm not going to get there in the amount of time that I have left, right? I have no doubt that this base could get there by Cycle 2000 or whatever. But we're going to make it to maybe like cycle 750 tops, and we're still probably not even going to have an automation system for our space stuff, which is probably the most embarrassing thing about this base at the moment, actually. So you might be thinking, well, why are you saying all this, right? If you're just some really super small-time YouTuber, right? Like if the first video of this Let's Play has like 1,000 views, 2,000 views, you're not, you know, I don't know, one of these big time YouTubers. You're just doing this for fun. Why not just not play as base anymore, right? Well, two things. One, I do kind of want to offer some sort of wrap up to this base. Like, I feel like just from, I'm not going to polish it again to that gleaming, shining chrome finish that you can get a base to by cycle 1000 or 2000 or whatever. But I do kind of want to cap off the series in a way that's fun. And there's still things that I want to talk about in this game, not related to this this particular base that I want to get out there. But also, they're kind of of the three things that we set out to do with the petroleum rockets and with the oil sector. I still kind of want to do two of them because I think they're good testing, and I think that's actually what we're going to focus on in this episode today. We still need to wait a little bit for our coolant to pump out into our little storage area here before we can turn on our active cooling system and get that all built. It still also needs a little bit of building to finish. But we need to wait a little bit before we can start converting this and setting up our petroleum rocket. In the meantime, I want to work on the other big experiment that I have, which is trying to set up just a really quick and dirty, like survival mode, no real materials needed, petroleum cooker, just by tapping into the magma that's down here. That's the plan, right? Set up just something really quick and dirty to cook oil into petroleum and see if we can't get that to work in a really clever fashion. The idea is to just use very little duplicant labor or materials. Like, this is a thing that you might be able to do at like cycle 60. Once you've got some exosuits and some oxygen going to those exosuits, you could probably pull this off, is the goal. So I want to test out that because it's something that I might use in my next base, and I haven't tried something like this before. I've always just gone the route that we have, or at least we used to have a refinery up here. Right, again, more of the leftover spaghetti. We pumped oil from the oil biome. It went over to here, and we refine it into petroleum, and then we sent the petroleum to our plastics operation right through this pipe right here. That's pretty simple, but I want to know if we can get a more efficient system without really having to put in any more materials, and that's what I'm going to work on today and in this episode and in a few of the future episodes. Let's go ahead and start working a little bit on that. First, I want my guys to have access to this area. So let's just build some sort of scaffolding along here. Let's cancel this. And let's go ahead and dig our way down. Like, they'll get themselves over here, and then we'll have them dig down. In fact, let's just have them build a ladder down here. Shoop. And then this is neutronium, okay. But everything else here should be diggable, right? Yeah, looks like it. So I'm going to go ahead and say base. Actually, let me check for a second. Solids. What do I need to make this stuff out of? So if I go to like liquids and say gold, gold becomes solid at 1000. Okay. If I use like steel. Steel solid at 1000. What material do I want to make this out of is a good question. But basically I want to create like a hot plate. Actually, diamond. Well, is diamond too much though? Yeah, diamond is fine in terms of that. I want something with a little bit less. Just a little bit less. Conductivity, right? Because I want to just sort of slow cook this oil effectively. I could just make this out of like obsidian. That might actually be real smart, right? Becomes liquid at a fairly high temperature, and the conductivity is not that great. It's fine. So I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to create a little hot plate down here of obsidian. So let's go ahead and say base, tile. Yeah, obsidian should work pretty fine. And we're just going to... We could build it right here. I think that works. The other option is like right here. Let's go ahead and build it right here. So we're going to build like an obsidian hot plate that is going to go along like so. No, let's not extend it all the way out. Because I think the plan is we're going to have oil drop in from here. It's going to heat up on this hot plate that we are creating, right? It is then going to turn into petroleum. The petroleum is going to rise, and then it's going to just kind of be skimmed off into a storage area over here. That is the plan, right? And then we can insulate all this if we want to kind of keep the heat in. But that is the ideal here. So we're going to dig down like this. We're going to go ahead and say that we want to dig our way across like so. We're going to dig out all through here. Yeah, just like this. And we will actually cancel this part. Dig out like so. Yeah. All right, perfect. Dig out like this. And in fact, I'm going to go ahead and say cancel these. And instead build ladder out of igneous rock just right here. Cool. All right. And then we'll dig ourselves... actually just dig ourselves across right here. I think actually, no. I'm going to go down one further. Let's do this. Because I don't want to have this stuff get weakened by all the pressure here. So let's actually just cancel like so. Dig out just one deeper. Like this. I think we should be good. Although I have this going to kind of an awkward point. Let's just do this. Okay. Yeah, and so this is going to be our big sort of cooking area here, where we have the oil being heated up. It's going to come in from here, and it is going to be skimmed off, essentially. Yeah, and we're just going to make this out of like ceramic, right? So the oil will come down here, come in, and be cooked and turned into petroleum. It'll flow out over here. That is the plan. And the idea is if we cook it slow enough, we won't get the sour gas. If we get sour gas, we can do stuff with it. It's not the end of the world of the strategy, but the idea is not to get too much heating, but instead just try and get this petroleum at as low a temperature as we can, if possible. Okay, so yeah, we're going to do this. Is the plan. Dig out through here. We don't even need to dig out this, actually. We can go ahead and cancel that. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, I think this is all good. Let's go ahead and dig out through here, though, as well. And then basically what we're going to do with the final step, right? So this is all pretty easy to do in survival, right? As long as you have exosuits. The final step is that we are just going to replace this tile right here with another obsidian tile, right? And that is going to create the thermal contact with all of this magma that is then going to heat all this oil up, right? That's the plan. In fact, I might also just want to create like a layer of insulation just to slow things down. No, we'll dig it out for now, and then we can put the insulation on top. I need to get this thing built, is important. Okay. So yeah, let's go ahead and let them go ahead and do that. Yeah, and I think we can still just have our oil reservoir hooked up here. We can just have all the oil flow through down over here. I think this will work fine. Okay. Go ahead and unpause. I know we're unpausing like 13 minutes into the episode, but I think this will be really nice. Okay. While we're going about this, let's go ahead and just try and clean up the base a little bit. Right, while this is all getting finished, how about we just kind of, improve some of this nonsense that we have sitting around here. Like any spaghetti that is left over, any just nonsense like this, right? I don't need these wires. I don't need this thing over here. You guys could just go ahead, deconstruct all this. Perfect. Let's also remember to tweak this stuff. We'll say do this if at 60. Seems fine to me. Any nonsense I need to change? I think we're good. Oh, what about our heating cooling area over here? Okay, let's go ahead and set this to be if above 0, and set this one to be above -5, and shift more of the heat burden over to here, because I have plenty of water backup already here. Yeah, no reason to have this thing run. We have our water at the temperature that we want. We're pumping our oil already. Okay. Perfect. Yeah, and let's oh, that's awkward. Let's dig out through here and say priority 7 on like all of this stuff. This will just make it a little bit easier to go through here. Cool. So that should be getting built pretty quickly. I let this thing flood, which isn't really ideal. This is all flooded. I think while we're at it, let's also just go ahead and see what's at the end of the rainbow here. Oh, is this a... We might actually have a... I never noticed this. We might actually have another vent sort of thing right here. Because this is 4 wide, this could be a thing. Let's go and dig this out. And we'll say priority, I don't know, 6. Whoops. Priority 6 on this stuff. Yeah, we might have like another volcano or vent. Ooh, there's another oil reservoir as well. Cool. I don't plan on using that for the remainder of the time that we have, but nice to see. Yeah, dig this out, and I want to be able to test whether or not this idea that I have can work. Because the downside is if it heats things up too fast, right? Then we run into the problem that we'll just be producing a bunch of sour gas, and we'll need like a complicated cooling solution in order to really do this stuff. We're already going to need something of a cooling solution, but it's good. We're going to have to cool things down a lot more once we get to the point where we're producing sour gas. When we have just the petroleum, we just need to cool the petroleum down to whatever temperature is reasonable to handle. But once we get things to sour gas, we need to cool things down into methane, and that's going to be a much more arduous process, right? So this is intended to be something that you can just do on like cycle 50 or whatever. Like as soon as you break, like very early on, without that much tech, once you're able to break in, then you're able to do this. So with that being the plan, what are we doing over here? 5 out of 4 critters, 5 out of 4 critters, 2 out of 4 critters. Okay. So these stables are kind of getting full. That's fine. This is pumping. The chlorine is just kind of dumping out here. Not ideal. We'd kind of rather have it dump out here, I guess. I don't need the skill point. Okay. Interesting. Alright, yeah. Let's start digging this stuff out. Let's get all this stuff dug out. Needs O2. Oh, I do not have ventilation hooked up to that. Sure. Gas pipe, igneous rock is fine. Hook this up, please. Easy peasy. This looks like it's going fine. This is now heating up. We're saying... Okay, so we have this almost running at peak now. And we'll go ahead and say activate if above 4. Something like this. I don't really want this water flashing to steam. That would be a little bit obnoxious. Activate if above 95. That's the plan. Okay. More skill points earned. That's fine. We're doing great on food. Almost 900,000 kilocalories. This is doing fine. Okay. Let's go ahead and start scouring for any more just little snippets of stuff that we don't want anymore. And also mopping up any ice that has been carried but then spilled because it melted. We just have a lot of ice melting over here, I think. Yeah, mop this stuff up. Okay. Guess cancel this. Oh, deconstruct. Let's deconstruct this ladder. Get that cleaned up. All these little things that we need to do around the base to make it look pretty. Getting it pretty. This area we have cleaned out. We want to convert this into more more liquid oxygen storage. So I think maybe we start working on that as well while we're waiting for the other stuff to finish. Sure. Yeah, I think we just want to start working on this. Okay. So let's go ahead and... yeah, we can just deconstruct pretty much all this. Deconstruct this. Deconstruct this. Power-wise, we're going to need to hook up some stuff, but we can hook it up over here. Let's go ahead and deconstruct this. Deconstruct this. Go to automation. And deconstruct all of this as well. And since we're going to move this, let's move that somewhere else as well. We'll stick our power and whatnot over here. We'll just move the wiring and the plumbing and whatnot. And of course, need to deconstruct these. Alright, looking good. And let's go ahead and get some ceramic insulation up along here. We're basically going to have a new liquid oxygen setup area. Okay. Let's go back down and see how we are doing with our retrofits. Or basically our build of our new magma-powered petroleum cooker. Alright, it's coming along. And we're even going to start slowly putting in some obsidian here. Not bad, not bad. Alright, I'm going to cut the episode here. In the next episode, I think we're going to continue working on this build. And then, once we're done with that, I think we're going to go ahead and build our petroleum rocket. Get our active cooling system for that up and going. And that's going to be it for the series, honestly. The plan is that I am going to make a couple videos kind of just showcasing the base. And I'll probably post them on some sort of social media just to let people know that I have a series that they can watch. And then I'm going to be chilling out until the game releases. And once the game releases, I'll start talking about what my plans are for that. But I have some really cool stuff planned for when the game releases. And so if you enjoy Oxygen Not Included content and you have some thoughts on what you want me to do with the series going forward, shoot me something. What is this guy doing? Otto, you can move, right? You can move. You're hanging out, Otto. I guess he can't mine this stuff, and he's just deciding to hang out here. Anyways, if you have ideas on what you'd like to see me do once the game releases, go ahead and leave me a comment or something like that, and I'll take it under advisement. But again, I think I have a pretty good plan for what I'm going to do with the series going forward. I'm interested in feedback, right? I don't want to be like, oh yeah, I have the great idea, and then everyone's like, their idea sucks. But anyways, that's it for this episode. I'll catch you guys next time.